You don't need rivals when your own mouth is quietly building a case against you. Somewhere right now, someone remembers something you said, better than you do. A joke you thought vanished. A complaint you assumed was harmless. A moment of honesty you believed was safe. None of it disappeared. It was stored. Studied. Saved. People don't forget words the way you think they do, they archive them. In the modern world, conversations don't fade, they resurface when timing is perfect. Careers have collapsed over sentences spoken casually. Relationships have died because one secret traveled further than intended. The most dangerous belief you can hold is thinking your words are temporary. They're permanent weapons, either for you or against you. And once you understand that, everything changes, but only if you survive the next mistake. Long before social media and recordings, power thinkers understood a brutal truth: speech reveals more than silence ever could. Your voice exposes desire, insecurity, ambition, fear. Every unnecessary sentence hands people a map to your inner world. Control the map, and you control access. Lose control, and others navigate you easily. History doesn't reward the loud, it rewards the calculated. Those who mastered influence learned when to speak and when to disappear into silence. They weren't mute, they were precise. The moment you talk just to fill space, you surrender advantage. Because someone listening isn't bonding, they're analyzing. And the danger isn't obvious until it's too late. What you say today becomes leverage tomorrow. The question isn't if words will be used, but who will use them first. Anger is the fastest way to betray yourself. The moment emotion spikes, mental filters shut down. Suddenly, buried thoughts rush out unchecked. Things you swore you'd never admit spill effortlessly. The person who angers you isn't just provoking, they're extracting information. While you feel justified, they're learning exactly where you're fragile. Once someone knows what triggers you, they don't need strength. They need timing. Rage turns complex people into predictable machines. Push here, reaction there. And the worst part? Your outburst doesn't fade when the anger does. It becomes a snapshot of your character. A reference point others remember. Power doesn't come from suppressing anger, it comes from delaying expression. Those who pause win. Those who explode provide ammunition. And the next trigger is already loading. Success makes people reckless. Winning feels intoxicating, and the urge to explain how you won becomes irresistible. You want recognition, credit, applause. But every detail you share is a free lesson for someone watching quietly. Your strategy becomes their study material. Your process becomes their shortcut. While you celebrate openly, others reverse engineer silently. They're not impressed, they're preparing. Mystery protects power, explanation dissolves it. The more clearly you describe your methods, the easier it becomes to replace you. Real winners understand this and resist the urge to narrate their journey. They let results speak while details remain hidden. Because the moment you turn your success into a story, you turn yourself into a target. And targets never see the shot coming, only the impact. Alcohol doesn't create honesty, it removes restraint. With every drink, the internal guard weakens. Secrets feel lighter. Confessions feel bonding. But someone sober remembers everything you won't. Entire lives have been dismantled in one careless night. Affairs revealed. Plans exposed. Fears admitted. Manipulators know this well. They don't interrogate, they pour. They listen. They wait. And while you feel closer, they collect. What took years to conceal can unravel in hours. The danger isn't drunken behavior, it's drunken memory. Your words don't disappear because you forget them. They resurface when convenient for someone else. In a world full of recordings and witnesses, clarity is protection. Connection without control is vulnerability. And the morning after is when consequences wake up. Pressure doesn't change people, it reveals them. As stress rises, masks slip. Voices crack. Confessions emerge disguised as venting. People reveal doubts, limits, fears, and failures thinking they're seeking support. They're actually offering targeting data. The most dangerous pressure leaks happen with those closest to you. Family. Friends. Colleagues. Information shared in weakness often returns with precision. While you're focused on relief, someone else is noting patterns. Respect erodes quickly when composure disappears. Those who remain calm under strain gain authority without demanding it. Pressure isn't the enemy, poor response is. Diamonds form under weight, but only when structure holds. And those who collapse under stress unknowingly announce they're replaceable. The quiet observer never forgets who broke first. Some people don't attack, they confess. They present vulnerability carefully, sharing struggles just convincing enough to trigger your sympathy. You feel trusted. Needed. Important. That's the trap. While you open up to help, they extract information effortlessly. True vulnerability is chaotic and imperfect. Strategic vulnerability is rehearsed. The most polished sob stories often belong to the most dangerous players. Your compassion becomes their advantage. Secrets shared in solidarity later return as leverage. Kindness without boundaries invites exploitation. Strength helps without exposing its core. Support doesn't require surrender. Those who master influence understand how to listen without revealing, how to assist without disarming themselves. If you can't tell the difference between genuine need and performance, you'll keep handing weapons to people who smile while sharpening them. Every social circle runs on information. Gossip isn't casual, it's currency. When you trade secrets, you're participating in an invisible economy. The rules are simple: those who collect gain power, those who distribute lose it. The most influential people speak the least but know the most. They appear friendly, curious, safe. In reality, they're gathering intelligence. The real risk of gossip isn't what you say about others, it's what it proves about you. Each shared secret signals unreliability. Each broken confidence advertises weakness. People notice. And they remember who leaks. Silence isn't awkward, it's strategic scarcity. When information flows only one way, advantage accumulates. And those who talk themselves into relevance often talk themselves out of respect. Authority doesn't test fairness, it tests control. When power challenges you, instinct demands defense. You want to explain. Justify. Prove. That reaction is expected, and that's why it fails. Most authority confrontations aren't about truth, they're about composure. Emotional responses confirm doubt. Calm compliance followed by results dismantles criticism silently. Arguing feels righteous but achieves nothing. Power structures don't reward explanations, they reward performance. Every defensive word becomes evidence of insecurity. Silence paired with improvement unsettles critics more than debate ever could. Those who master this don't resist authority publicly. They outgrow it privately. And when the balance shifts, those who once tested them suddenly speak with respect. Power remembers who stayed composed under fire. Betrayal tempts exposure. When trust breaks, revealing secrets feels justified. But retaliation through confession destroys credibility faster than it hurts the target. Every relationship is mutual intelligence. If you expose theirs, you announce you'll expose anyone's. Future allies watch carefully. Silence preserves reputation. Loose revenge destroys it. The strongest response to betrayal isn't noise, it's discipline. Secrets held retain value. Secrets spent are gone forever. The most effective players don't react emotionally, they reposition strategically. They let time do damage while they remain untraceable. Reputation compounds quietly, both good and bad. Once labeled unsafe, doors close permanently. Power isn't loud retaliation, it's controlled absence. And nothing unsettles an enemy more than realizing you know everything and say nothing. Insecurity talks too much. When confidence wavers, words rush in to compensate. Name-dropping. Over-explaining. Interrupting. Performing importance. None of it convinces anyone. It exposes need. Real competence doesn't advertise, it demonstrates. Those who feel powerful don't rush to prove it. Overperformance with words creates predictability. Manipulators learn exactly how to trigger your need for validation. Once identified, you're easy to steer. Silence frustrates those tactics. Comfort with being underestimated is a rare advantage. Those who possess it let outcomes speak when timing matters. The greatest danger isn't appearing weak, it's proving weakness through desperation. And once that pattern is seen, it's never unseen. Promises feel like solutions because they delay reality. When pressure rises, words step in where ability falls short. Commitments soothe the moment but mortgage the future. Every promise creates debt. And interest compounds fast. Broken commitments don't just disappoint, they redefine reputation. Reliability isn't built through intention, it's built through delivery. Those who promise less but execute more become trusted quietly. Those who promise often lose credibility loudly. Hope is unstable ground. Power prefers certainty. The disciplined speak only when action is guaranteed. They let others overcommit and collapse under expectation. In the long run, silence paired with results outweighs any grand declaration. And people remember who needed words, and who didn't. Every conversation is a strategic exchange, whether you intend it or not. Words position you socially. They signal hierarchy, confidence, restraint. Careless speech gives away leverage. Strategic silence creates curiosity. People fill gaps with assumptions, and often elevate you in the process. The strongest presence isn't dominating speech, it's controlling tempo. Knowing when to pause unsettles others more than confrontation. The moment you speak without purpose, you surrender frame. Those who master influence choose timing over volume. They let others reveal themselves first. And once you see conversation as positioning rather than bonding, you realize how often people defeat themselves out loud. In a recorded world, memory never sleeps. Screenshots outlive apologies. Voice notes outlast friendships. Context disappears, but words remain. The past is no longer past when data exists. Strategic communicators understand permanence. They speak as if every sentence will be replayed later, because it might be. Emotional relief is temporary. Consequences aren't. Discipline in speech isn't fear, it's foresight. Those who adapt survive. Those who don't become examples. And examples are rarely treated kindly. Once you accept that permanence, you stop speaking casually and start speaking intentionally. That shift alone separates observers from operators. Most people confuse honesty with exposure. Truth doesn't require full disclosure. Power comes from selective transparency. You can be authentic without being accessible. Those who overshare mistake openness for connection. Real bonds aren't built on confession, they're built on consistency. The less predictable your inner world is, the harder you are to manipulate. Silence isn't deception, it's boundary. And boundaries are what keep influence intact. People respect what they can't easily access. The more mysterious your motivations remain, the more others project strength onto you. And projection often becomes reality. Weakness isn't feeling emotion, it's advertising it prematurely. Strategic individuals process internally and respond externally with clarity. They don't deny emotion, they delay expression. That delay creates control. Control creates authority. Authority creates safety. Emotional discipline isn't coldness, it's calculation. Those who master it choose outcomes over catharsis. They understand that temporary relief often produces permanent damage. The world doesn't reward raw honesty, it rewards precision. And once you grasp that, emotional restraint stops feeling like suppression and starts feeling like power. Silence isn't absence, it's presence without exposure. It forces others to reveal themselves. Talkative people unknowingly lower their own value by flooding the space. Scarcity increases attention. Those who speak sparingly are listened to more closely. Their words carry weight because they arrive rarely. Influence concentrates around restraint. When you speak less, people assume depth. When you explain less, people assign competence. The discipline feels uncomfortable at first, but discomfort is where leverage grows. And those who endure it quietly end up controlling rooms they never dominated verbally. Manipulation thrives on predictability. The moment someone knows how you react, they can guide you effortlessly. Emotional patterns become control panels. Strategic communicators disrupt expectation. They pause where reaction is expected. They respond calmly where tension demands explosion. This unpredictability protects them. It also intimidates. People hesitate to challenge what they can't read. And hesitation is power's favorite opening. Mastery isn't about domination, it's about denying access to your triggers. Once you remove that access, manipulation collapses. Authority doesn't test fairness, it tests control. When power challenges you, instinct demands defense. You want to explain, justify, prove. That reaction is expected, and that's why it fails. Most authority confrontations aren't about truth, they're about composure. Emotional responses confirm doubt. Calm compliance followed by results dismantles criticism silently. Arguing feels righteous but achieves nothing. Power structures don't reward explanations, they reward performance. Every defensive word becomes evidence of insecurity. Silence paired with improvement unsettles critics more than debate ever could. Those who master this don't resist authority publicly. They outgrow it privately. And when the balance shifts, those who once tested them suddenly speak with respect. Power remembers who stayed composed under fire. Most mistakes aren't caused by ignorance, they're caused by urgency. The need to respond immediately. To clarify. To defend. Delay creates clarity. Silence creates leverage. When you pause, situations often resolve themselves. People reveal more. Power shifts. The disciplined don't rush to be understood. They wait to be undeniable. And once you experience the advantage of waiting, impatience feels expensive. Reputation compounds invisibly. Every restrained moment adds weight. Every careless word subtracts it. You rarely notice the change until it's obvious to everyone else. The people who rise fastest aren't the loudest, they're the most consistent. They don't react, they choose. And choice is the difference between influence and impulse. Once you internalize that, communication becomes strategy rather than expression. Words either build positioning or erode it. There is no neutral speech. Even silence communicates. The question is whether it protects or exposes. Strategic communicators accept this reality and adapt accordingly. They don't speak to feel better, they speak to move forward. Emotional relief fades. Position remains. And in the long game, position decides outcomes. The greatest illusion is believing everyone means well. Most people don't mean harm, but many exploit opportunity. Loose speech creates opportunity. Discipline removes it. Those who understand human nature don't become cynical, they become selective. Trust exists, but it's earned slowly and shared carefully. Power survives by reducing unnecessary risk. And speech is the biggest risk people underestimate. Throughout history, influence belonged to those who controlled access to themselves. They weren't hidden, they were measured. They spoke when words could build and stayed silent when words could destroy. That pattern never changed, only the stage did. Today, the consequences are faster and wider. Strategic communication isn't optional anymore, it's survival. And those who ignore that reality learn lessons publicly. Your mouth can build your future or quietly sabotage it. Every sentence is a decision. Every pause is protection. In a world where everything is saved, repeated, and weaponized, restraint becomes strength. The most powerful people aren't those who speak freely, they're those who speak deliberately. If you master that skill, you stop being reactive and start being untouchable. And once that happens, people won't know why you command respect, only that you do. The question is simple: will your words continue working against you, or will you finally make them work for you?